And hello, and here we are, once again here on Bowls.tv. It's BOLES.television. Hey, it's Bowls TV. And we had a big OBS update just 2 minutes ago, so I'm going to turn up the sound and see if the sound is working. The sound is working. I can hear myself. Oh, and hello. Once again here on Bowls.tv. We got to turn on the phone. We have a lot going on with the phone today, by the way, if things go well, but you never know. It's the fun of a live stream, I keep telling myself. So many things to discuss today. It's been a very interesting week. Many interesting things to come. But the thing that's really bothering me most, and I wasn't even going to get into this yet, but I'll get into it right now. Let me see if I can find it first. Oh, it's going to make me log in, but that's okay. That's okay. Okay, so I have to do this, and do that, and do that to get this. See? Log in OpenSea. Because this is the problem I'm having with OpenSea. I'll start talking. The problem I'm having with OpenSea is I'm now taking a lot of my AI art and selling it. Not that it's selling, but I'm putting it online so if people want to buy it, they can buy it, right? And you like to have collections, and usually you have 10 things in a collection, and then you feature that on your favorites page, and then, you know, the world is right and the birds are singing. And then, of course, as always happens, the inevitable happens. It's OpenSea. And suddenly you can't mint anymore. For 2 or 3 days in a row, I was minting like 20 things a day. And it's very tedious. It takes a long time. I was going to do a tutorial on this show on how to mint an NFT on OpenSea, and I didn't do it because I couldn't mint. So after like 3 or 4 days of minting, I was able to mint, as you can see up here, like 100 things over several days. And then I couldn't mint anything, and nothing would happen. I would mint, creating, do the CAPTCHA, nothing. So I reported it to OpenSea, went to the Discord. Oh, we don't do support here. Then I went to support, and they are the type of support place where they answer you exactly once a day. Every 24 hours. That's the system they're on. So, you know, you're going to write something. You take your time because you know they're not going to respond in the same day. Hey, it's Gordon. Gordon hasn't quite figured out how to list something and have multiple things of that one thing available. That image looks like a portrait of a modern Van Gogh. And it is a modern Van Gogh. I believe this one is a mix-up of Van Gogh and Matisse. And then the AI takes over and just does its thing. So maybe that's what I'm going to do right now, is try to mint and see if it works. It would be a fun project. So I've been going back and forth with OpenSea, and they keep saying, well, you have to send a screenshot of the error so we can report it to technical people. And this woman I'm speaking to named Darlene, for the last 2 days, said, well, I just, you know, filter things. I have to decide if this gets bumped up to the technical people or not. So she said, what browser are you using, all that. So I already gave all that information. You can't open a ticket with OpenSea unless you give all your technical information. And so I did. And now my 3rd day with her, she finally said, okay, you couldn't mint 4 times in a row yesterday, so I'll bump it up to technical support. But I can't tell you if they're ever going to get to it or when they're going to resolve it. She just told me that 5 minutes ago, so I was a little late getting here on the show. But I didn't answer her yet, because I know if I answer her and say and give her more information, it's not going to make any difference. And I know, Soul Curry Art was having problems 5 months ago, publishing on OpenSea. They fixed it because she sold Corey Art. She makes them a lot of money. So for her, it's different. She's not in the same position that I'm in. So I'm going to see if I can mint something. And here are the other things. Then this is my other Van Gogh mix-up, mash-up. This is a Columbia mash-up. It's my cornhead from Nebraska. So I said, Nebraska corn. And after about 50 rolls, it came up with this, which I find hilarious. More Columbia mix-ups. And this is another big red mix-up. Very clever. Yes, we have a lot of fun with our Midjourney bot. The DALL-E bot is not as clever as the Midjourney bot. This is when the Big Apple takes a bite out of you. And this is when it all started going bad because, see, this is my semiotic series. My gritty, urban, and I was going to call this collection the Urban Semiotic series. I couldn't get past number 7. 8, 9, 10, never minted. Wouldn't let me. Into the Eye of the Storm. This is a series. I was very happy with this series. This is my Drowning series. And these are all beautiful faces drowning. And boy, it's really hard to get the eyes right. It's a big trick to get AI to render an eye, a finger, a hand. Very difficult. But it's improving every day. Liberty rides the subway. I find this whole thing, to me, charming and fantastic. I laughed with everyone that I created. And it's a wonderful collection of 10 delightful pieces. And it was fun minting them, even though it's very repetitive and unfun. These are my wild things, perhaps inspired by a child's story. I don't know. I'm not exactly clear on that. I'm not saying one way or the other. Fun to mess around with, though, try to get it to work. Liberty rides the subway has a lot of appeal to a New Yorker at heart, I will say. Hey, there's Jana Marie, sweetheart. The Statue of Liberty pieces are beautiful. They are beautiful. And I take full credit for it, even though I really didn't do anything. I just typed in a few lines of text. My gargoyle skeletons. Now that's going to be a collection, if I can ever get it online. I'll show you one of them just for fun. This is what one of them looks like. What does a gargoyle skeleton looks like? That's what a gargoyle skeleton looks like. It's only the beginning. So I like to do these mashups of things. I've asked the bot to recreate chess pieces for me, so I'm creating my own very weird set of chess pieces. One of which I've been trying to mint for 3 days. This is my Lonely series. Where it all began, all the Origin series. This is one of my favorite ones too. It's very bizarre. Just sort of the beginning of the universe. With the proper text prompt. Very weird. So we have all sorts of styles. There's an Old West setting as well. So now we'll see if we can create something. I don't know if it will let me in this view because it's a very narrow view. What have I done? No, it's not there. Now, where is my create button? The create button should be up here. Huh. Ah, here it is. Okay, create. Sign. Yes, it's me. Okay, so now we're going to try to mint my, let me see what the size of this is. It has to be under 100 megabytes in file size. Okay, 77. Big file. But this is my new chess piece inspired by Vermeer, the painter, the pearl earring, and designed in collaboration with the Midjourney bot. Now, I've been trying to publish this for 3 days. It won't let me, but we're going to try. So, we'll give it a new name. New bishop in town. External link. Bowls.tv. Description, always putting it there. This is a collaboration in AI, collaboration with David Bowles and Midjourney. The collection, AI. Properties, character, always in the series Midjourney. And the name, Bishop. Okay. And you have to do this for every single NFT. It should be an automated process, but it's not. Now, I understand Facebook, Instagram, which I've been banned from now, are going to allow people to not only display their NFTs, but sell them as well. And I guess the Web3 boys are very excited about Elon Musk taking over Twitter because he's going to do the same thing. He's going to make it an NFT marketplace. So those will be more avenues to sell. Levels, stats, unlockable content. I'm not doing any of that. Supply. The number that can be minted. This is what Gordon was asking about. This is where you put in 10 or 3,000. I just leave mine at 1. 1 of 1. Always for me on Ethereum. But I guess Facebook and Instagram are going to be on either Polygon or there's another one that's Solana, which I don't know anything about. And this is where the trouble begins. You click create, almost done, I am not a robot, and you get this. Usually when you get a CAPTCHA, you have some success. Gordon says, yes, there, I think I've seen that spot, but it always seems to be grayed out and set to 1. Oh, I've never tried to make it anything other than 1. Yeah, it looks like it'll let you go higher. I'll still keep it a 101. Okay, so create. I'm not a robot. Select all images with cars. Oh, boy. Car. As we know, it's usually between 3 and 4 that you have to check. And this is either going to publish and say congratulations, or it's just going to go to a blank screen as if you never clicked the create button. Gordon says, thank you. I will have to try that. You're very welcome. And this takes anywhere from 30 seconds to 60 seconds because it's publishing on the blockchain and then getting verification back. Ah, see, it didn't work. It did not publish. So, then you click create again. Sometimes it works, not very often. Chimneys. 3. Verify. And we'll try it again. There's something weird going on. I haven't been able to mint. But now this is good because I can confirm with Darlene. Hey, Darlene. It's now 3 days in a row I can't mint anything. And I keep trying and trying and trying and it won't mint. It just drops dead after the please wait screen. Yeah, it didn't work. So that was fun. In a sort of terrible way. Profile. And sometimes just because we are slightly masochistic, we'll check created and see if it by chance happened to show up. Now, I had the same problem with this one. And it said it didn't create, and it actually did create. But that's the only time it's ever happened. It says, I wonder if it would help if you show them video evidence of what is happening. A lot of times in IT, when they can see the error in action, they can better understand it. That's a good point. I will check into that. And that's probably what I have to do. But boy, that takes a lot of work. But I will give it a go. So I have all of these wonderful pieces of art that I've been creating all day. And I really can't do anything. I put them on Twitter. I put them on Facebook. I can't get in Instagram anymore. And I can't put them on OpenSea. So I have a big collection of wonderful NFTs that nobody can see and nobody can have. It's a big problem. So talking about Twitter, I'm really fascinated by this whole Elon Musk thing. And people are complaining, especially liberal Democrats, that they're losing tons and tons and tons of followers, thousands of followers. While a lot of these conservative places are saying, I gained 300,000 followers in one day. Are they real accounts? Are they bots? 300,000 people in one day, that sounds more bot-like than it does real people-like. And I have lost about 1,500 people since Elon took over a week ago. I don't know if that's because people are getting up and leaving, or if they are some kind of bots, but I don't know how you stop a bot from following you. There's all kind of conversation about this $8 if you want to remain verified, or $8 to get verified. And this woman, Jane Manchun Wong, and she said this profile picture of her is based on a real photograph, but it was enhanced with AI. So it's her, but it's not her. And I love that. And she does a lot of testing. Somehow she has or did have a lot of very deep connections at Twitter, where she would, I guess she was a beta tester or something, but she would post screenshots of stuff that was coming, and people wouldn't believe her that super follows were coming, tip jar was coming, and she would post screenshots on her account of her in action doing these things. So I don't know if she's out or not as an insider, but she didn't work at Twitter. She still has her verified badge, and she's now made her account private. And I was following her smartly, 2,000 other people, before she locked her account. And this is what she announced yesterday: taking my account private due to elevated abuse. And ever since Elon Musk has taken over Twitter, the Twitter sphere is very nasty and cruel. And here's what another person says, another verified person, another woman says, I have to be honest, it's deeply depressing to watch Twitter employees work over the weekend and sleep in the office to push out impossible deliverables, which are due tomorrow, as far as we know, that no user wants, get zero internal communications, only to hear through the media that half of them are about to be fired anyway. And I guess this new Twitter Blue that is supposed to be pushed out by Friday. You have to join, you have to pay $8 a month if you want all these features, and you want to retain your verified check. And if you don't pay, then you lose your verified status after, I think, 90 days. And Jane says Twitter is making verified the first tab in notifications, which I didn't really understand why this was a big deal. But then she sort of goes on and smartly explains it to dummies like me. It means if you haven't subscribed to Twitter Blue, and I used to be a Twitter Blue subscriber, I just canceled when Elon took over because it didn't make any sense. Hey, it's Donna. Hi, Donna. Good afternoon, David. Enjoy your day. Thank you so much. Jana was here. She might say hello. If she does, I'll say hi for her. Nice to see you. It means you haven't subscribed to Twitter Blue and interact with others. They'd have to tap the all button to see notifications from you. Hey, there's Donna. saying hi to Jana Marie. Oh, and Jana says hi back. Yay! And you have to interact with others. They'd have you to tap the all button to see notifications from you. So that isn't really clear. And then she goes on and she kind of makes it clearer later. But she also says, and I don't know how she has this information, but she does. The new verified badge for Twitter Blue subscribers will look identical to the verification badge for public figures, etc., that we know of right now. And there were people who said, okay, verify people, but verify their identity and who they are, and, give them like a gold verified badge instead of an identical one. But see, they want it all to be the same. That's the whole point of it. It's very weird. And this guy named Danny makes a very interesting point, exploring more of this. If you could pay to DM someone, would it be an ideal experience? How could we do this on the right Bird app? Etc. And then here, Jane goes on to explain a little bit more. Twitter is working on making Twitter Blue Verified tab the first tab in the notifications page, which she just showed us. Then she said, not sure if this will be for Blue subscribers or everyone. Verified tab is like the normal notifications tab, but filtered to only the interactions from other verified users. This is how it is now, all. So you see every message ever sent to you. When you're specifically mentioned, all is everything everybody publishes. Mentions are directed at you. Verified is when you only want to read from other verified accounts. So Jane says that they're moving the verified into the all place. So you're only going to see people who are paying Twitter unless you go into notifications and click on all so you can see what the whole conversation is. Very weird. This, she also said, I did not know this. Twitter is working on paid DMs. Very interesting. I've heard they're working on videos too. So right now we're live streaming on Twitter, on the Hardcore ASL account for Jana Marie, on the Bowles Blogs account, and on my main David Bowles page. And I guess if you do video, that Elon wants to put up a paywall and say, if you want to watch this, pay $1. And I guess that's how OnlyFans works, because those are the jokes I'm hearing from people. This is where she talks about her AI-generated selfie. It looks terrific. And this is where we sort of end this conversation with Jane, because this explains why she decided to go private. And she says when she posts anything on Twitter, she gets two kinds of replies from young people. When she disagrees with Elon Musk, the reply is, suck my D. And if she agrees with Elon Musk, the replies are, stop sucking his D. So she can't win either way. She goes private, which is not a good thing, really, because it puts her in terrible peril of not being noticed, because a lot of tech writers and a lot of journalists follow her because she has really good information. Will that information continue to be fed to her by Twitter now that Elon has taken over? I don't know. Now we're taking our very first break of the day. Coming up soon. Oh, maybe a little more Twitter and tea. Oh, that's cute. More tea with your Twitter. The other way around. More Twitter with your tea. Hello. Fabulous. Looks good. Returning in a moment. And we're back from break. David Bowles, this is Bowles.tv. It's Bowles.television. Now, Monday through Friday and Saturday and Sunday at high noon Eastern. I'm here Monday through Friday, and the beloved and sweet, delightful Jana Marie is here Saturdays and Sundays at... Gordon welcomes us back from break. And we welcome Gordon back from break. So before we get back into our Twitter rant, we'll just visit our Discord server very briefly. That's not it. This is it. You can try out the Midjourney bot on our Discord server. You can go into any of these little places. Here's the Art F NFT one. And you can, as you can see, yesterday, this is where I was creating my gargoyle skeletons. Now you can do this in private. You can do it in a private place. You can do it in DMs. But anybody who has a Discord account can play with the Midjourney bot 25 times for free. You can roll your own art for free 25 times. And then you have to pay. Just like DALL-E, you get a certain amount of free credits, then you have to pay. Everybody wants to be paid. But this is the process of what I was doing to create these skeletons. And so this is how you do it. We'll go into the cats area. Whoops, I'm clicking on my screen and not on the actual. Okay, so here's a cat. So let's create, so this is how you do it. And you can go in there right now and do it as many times as you want. You type a /. These are the prompts. The frequently used ones up there are Midjourney, which is the sailboat looking type thing. And you type imagine. All right. Then you type enter and your prompt. And this is the only place right now where you can work on Midjourney. Now, Midjourney, your archive is on the web, which I've been showing you all week. But you can only create stuff right now on the Discord Midjourney server, or if you have invited the Midjourney bot to your server, as we have, you can do it on your private server. Or you can go to a server where Midjourney bot is and do it there. So this is where you have to get cleverly interesting and type your text that will inspire the art. And it's tricky because some people write paragraphs. I found short, sweet, precise, distinct works a lot better. And if you go to the, which I'll show you next, the Midjourney server, there's a lot of good help there. People are very helpful. So usually when I test these, as you know, DALL-E, 7 other artificial art places we've tried, I always type in half monster, half cat to see what kind of mix you get. Sometimes, like DALL-E likes to just half a face is black, the other half of the cat face is white. Very strange. So this one, we'll do a half. We'll continue our theme. Half gargoyle. Persian cat, because Persian cats are gargoyles. And that's all I'm going to type. Now you can type, if you want to be inspired by a certain artist, you would type that first. A certain timeline, 1800s, you would type that first, and then there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. But for now, for what we're doing, this will get us a result. Okay, so half gargoyle, half cat, and we're waiting now for the server to start. And you can either have your images fast processed, or you can go into relaxed mode. And whenever the server gets around to you, it will do it in the same sort of style. Not necessarily, the results will be the same, but just your queue for the GPU is theoretically longer if you're in relaxed mode. So if you're paying, you get, I think, 15 hours of fast and unlimited relax. So all these people who have 10,000, some have 25,000 generated images. They say the key to it is you run it in relaxed mode all the time, and then when you really need to do something tremendously specific, then you go into fast mode and do the certain upscales to get your result. So these are our cats so far. We're only 55% rendering, so we have a long way to go. But you can tell this is not hyper-realistic, photorealistic. This is cartoony, which is my least favorite kind of art. But it defaults to that because it's very easy to find similar images in their internal database of things that they want to easily render. But you can invoke the name of famous artists in the style of Vermeer, the style of Van Gogh, a Van Gogh cat. Maybe we'll try that one next. We're now at 88%, but I'm telling you right now, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going into fast mode because I can't take this. And we can switch back to relax, but when time is money and we're on the live stream, we want to go fast. Okay, so cat's done rendering. So is this half gargoyle, half cat? Persian cat. I would say no. Now here are your choices. You can upscale each of these individually, or you can redo them in versions. I don't want to upscale any of these, but I want to re-roll the whole thing. And usually it takes you 3 re-rolls before things get really interesting. And then when you get to about 10 re-rolls of the same set of images with the same prompt, things start getting very weird. Like faces are melting, body parts start missing. It becomes a hyper cartoon. And that's why I say, okay, now we're at the end. We're not going there again. So this is a re-roll. We didn't touch anything. All we did was said, try it again with a different seed randomly generated by the system to give us a different look of a half gargoyle, half Persian cat. So you can already see it's completely different. The tone is different. The style is different. Now I could go in there and fine tune this and say, make it half tone, make it look like a photograph. But I haven't yet. Something just beeped at me. So I guess it's right here. Something's new. Now we're at 61% rendering. Now this looks very similar to one up here. So you're going to get some change, but maybe not enough to satisfy you. And then when we re-roll this again, we won't sit here and look at it. We'll go look at what AOC is saying to Elon Musk, which is very funny. And AOC is so delicious and beautiful and smart that she is also viciously attacked in anything she says online. It must get really tiring. See, now we're getting a little more gargoyle here. You can see it slowly coming out. The first one, this is not gargoyle. I mean, the ears maybe. But this is getting closer. This is what we just saw. This is gargoyle-y, right? That's the gargoyle stance with the small feet and the wings. This is looking very stone-like in here for the gargoyle. We're getting closer. The mouth is now no longer really fuzzy, but stony. And here you go. St. John the Divine. You can see it right here. Gargoyle. Looking better. So we will update, as they say. Well, let's see. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll update 2, 3, 4, and re-roll the whole thing again. And while that's running, we go back to Twitter. Oh, this is someone. Here we go. AOC. Laughing my A off at the billionaire earnestly trying to sell people on the idea that free speech is actually $8 a month and a subscription plan. 680,000 likes And Elon Musk, the head twit, the troll in chief, replied to her and said, "Your feedback is appreciated. Now pay $8." Gordon says, "Wow," and Elon actually replied. He did. It's very funny. And the fight he got in with Stephen, do anything for anything. I'm not paying you $20 to keep my verified thing. And that's where the whole $8 thing came from, where Elon replied to Stephen King, the writer, and said, "How about $8? Will you pay that?" Now, I understand Twitter Blue, when it was introduced, was $3. And this month, it's being bumped up to $6. They've implemented that yet. I think they're just going to go right to $8. And then I guess you'll have your NFT profile and you will be verified, or you will be allowed to keep your verification. And it's very confusing because it used to be if you're a regular person, you pay $20. And then if you want to keep your verification, then you'll pay $8. But it looks like he's changed the whole thing, like Twitter Blue, whatever he's calling it, is just $8 and you're verified. Freedom and free and price are different concepts. You can choose not to pay and use Twitter. Can you imagine the job? Oh, here we go. Yeah. The job you've worked at for years gets a new boss that tells you to pay him $8 per month to keep working there for free. And then you remembered you helped build his company and you've worked for years and you have no equity or payments and he wants $8 a month. Now, that's what Keith Olbermann said on his show this morning, that the content creators, the superstars, the celebrities, have been posting stuff on Twitter. That is the kind people come in and read it. And instead of charging people to read it, Elon Musk wants to charge the people for creating it. It's a very sticky thing that is not really going over well. Gordon says, "I wonder how much money Elon has gotten from me using PayPal, for example." Probably quite a bit. And also in response to AOC, free speech is important to Elon Musk and other fascio celebrities because it allows him to manipulate the market. Having measurable number of followers should disqualify people from free speech on mass media, including internet, which is different from in-person speech. And now they're joking from $20, $4.95. And God replies to Elon Musk. Elon Musk said, "If I had $1 for every time someone asked me if Trump is coming back on this platform, Twitter would be minting money." And God says, "You do have it, dip-ass." So this is very funny because you have all these very famous people saying, "Oh, I'm not staying on Twitter. I'm leaving." Rob Reiner said, "If Elon owns Twitter, I'm never going on again." And so far, he's still there. David Frum is a very interesting conservative writer who said, it's curious because he says, "I logged off Twitter. Not that I quit or that I deactivated my account. I'm just taking a break to see how it all shakes out." Which I think is what a lot of people are doing because who knows what's going to happen. Are people going to give up all of their followers and all the years of content that they have created? People who seem to know more than I know say it's, $8 is not going to do anything. It's not going to help him pay one bill. That Twitter is based on advertising, and advertisers do not like the direction that Elon is taking his company, and they're not going to be advertising on Twitter anymore. And this is interesting. David Frum says, "Look, a hurricane is on the way. Tweets begin to fly with information and misinformation." Well, who do you believe? Right now, you can check the verified accounts of federal and state agencies and know that they are who they say they are. It's very important. But what if some prankster can create an account that looks official? Pay $20 a month or $8 a month or whatever fee is to verify, and then push rumors to deceive and frighten people, which is already sort of happening. So he says, I might stay, I might not stay. My conclusion is, after my 3-day spell of reflection, it's just too soon to decide. I'm returning to the site, if more warily than before, but it will not always be too soon to decide. I'm privately developing plans for how I'll replace the features of Twitter that I would miss, the rapid information flow, the depth of expertise, the experimentation with ideas not yet ready to submit, meow. Gordon says, I hope, along with your money, they first require photo ID like any good business would, like Coinbase does. What's it called? KYC, Know Your Customer. It's required now by government agencies if you're going to get into any kind of Bitcoin, Ethereum, trading, crypto. Places like MoonPay and Coinbase have to know who you are. They have to verify you. And they do a good job of it with photo ID, and then they check databases, and it's KYC. And a lot of people don't like it because they don't want to be identified. And from what I'm reading about this Twitter thing is if you have a credit card, that's verification enough. You don't have to use your real name. Facebook, that's one thing they always kind of got right, is that you need to be who you say you are. And if they require ID, then you have to match your name with what's on the ID. Twitter's never been that way. Twitter's been Wild West. Anything goes. Say whatever you like. We'll let you keep your word. It's very bizarre very quickly. Oh gosh, we have so many fun things to talk about. Let's see if we can... Where are we going with this? Just one final thing about Elmo. Now, this is interesting about Elmo, is Marcy Wheeler of Empty Wheel writes about Donald Trump very well. She has a PhD. She now lives in Ireland. When people were making fun of Trump's lawyers, the young, pretty female lawyers, they were making inappropriate comments about them. And Marcy said, oh, don't use disparaging words like boobies for Boebert or whatever. However, I find this strange, is that Marcy calls Elon Musk Elmo, and she calls Roger Stone Rat Boy. Now, that seems to me to be a little unfair. If you're going to name call people, let people name call. If they're going to do based on sexual identity, because that's what these people are putting forward, let them do that. But she doesn't want to do that. I find that slightly hypocritical. But there's no doubt that she writes well. And I'll put this link on our Discord server. So she has this great thing about Twitter. It's really about Twitter advertising that Elon doesn't realize. He cannot anger the advertising agencies, and they're already upset. After deleting with no acknowledgement of how stupid his tweet was against the Pelosi's, Elmo laughed it off by calling the New York Times fake news, something that may have salved his ego, which surely made advertisers more wary of continuing to spend money with him. Here is the Stephen King conversation about $20. How about $8? Fabulous. And Twitter's current lords and peasants system for who doesn't have a blue check mark is BS. Power to the people. But it's going to cost you $8. Oh, I just find it hilarious. So before we go to our next break, let's go back to our friends over here, our Discord server, and see what we have going on. Here is our very first upscaled cat. It's both furry and stone-like, gargoyle-ish. Not bad. Now you can upscale to the max. You can light upscale, beta upscale, remaster. I always do three things. I upscale to the max, I do a beta, and I do a remaster. Here's our other friend, very gargoyle-ish-like. Oh, and see now that it's a little bit bigger, you can see there's a cat face within a cat face. It's like a gargoyle face coming out of a cat. I like it, and I have a feeling we might see that face come out. So we will upscale, beta upscale, and just do a straight remaster. Here's our other friend. Looking not quite so stony. This one, I don't like. I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm just going to let it sit there. Here's another re-roll of our cats. Are they looking gargoyle-like or more cat-like? Very cloudy. And Persian cats are not curly like this, which is confusing to me. I'll re-roll it, but I'm not going to upscale any of them. And now all these jobs are running, which means they'll be there when we come back. Oh, and this one looks very interesting. This is a re-roll. More cat-like, not as gargoyle-y. So I don't want it, but I'm going to update it. Now, while those are running, we'll take a little break. Back. Talk a little tea. Spilling the tea. And if you hear this little boop, 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 that is the cats telling me that they have finished their scaling. Returning in a moment. And we are back from break. You're on Bowles TV, BOLES.television. Daily at high noon. So it's time to check in with our catbot. Now, this is the beta upscaled version of what we saw of this cat, which means it usually makes it a little bit softer looking, which is what happened. Even the stone looks a little soft. Not wild about it. This is just the straight upscale. When I said max upscale, that's what this does. It goes to about 1600. I like this better. I'm now learning not to like really the beta upscales, because if you have something that's realistic looking, which I prefer, the beta upscale tends to make it a little more artificial looking. Oh, now these are interesting. Gargoyle cats. Supposed to be Persian, but not as realistic. Very cartoony. And we've now gone from blue to brown. Not a great look. Now this one, you can see this. This is, I wish they would just go for this a little bit more, because this is very interesting. With this gargoyle face in the fur of the cat. That's very interesting to me. And it does sort of look gargoyle-y. I like how it's sitting. It's sort of on a perch, but we're sort of at the end of our rope with this one. We can make it, we can do a variation. We'll do a variation. So here's the original prompt, half gargoyle, half Persian cat. Half stone, half fur, half frown, half purr. I don't know if this will do anything. I don't think sounds are really translatable to art, but we're trying it. Oh, here's the beta upscale of that. See, now we've lost, in the beta upscale, it's softer, right? Added some crosses in the corners, but we've really lost the face, the gargoyle face. It's a risk, but that's why you just got to be careful. I don't really know where this is coming from. It's very strange. This doesn't read gargoyle at all to me. Here is another reload. Sort of gargoyle-y. 1, 2, 3. I'll try 3. And of course, re-roll it. And you just keep doing this all day until you get 25,000 images. And there are people who have more than 25,000 images too. Very furry, not quite gargoyle-y. I like the one that we had with the context of the way the cat was sitting. So as these are rolling, we'll visit the Midjourney server. They have a wonderful welcome area. Member support is very kind. Lots of nice people there. Very busy. And they all show you they have all kinds of artwork there. And most people don't want to pay to have their work private, so it's all public. That's the founder of Midjourney wants everything out there. He wants everyone to see what everyone else is doing. And so here's some of the images. And they're very curious and very interesting of what people are trying to bring in to their world as art. And sometimes people share their prompts, and sometimes people don't. And all that's okay. Oh, I can't get out of this. There we go. I've seen there's a lot of fantasy stuff, and the questions. This is all like a big fact page. How could I use a reference image? So if you want to start like with a picture of your cat and have it turned into a gargoyle, this is how you do it. It's all about context and language and what steps and the process of how you make it all work and make it all come together. So this is where a lot of people go and hang out. They just run their conversations right there. And everyone can see. Looks like a great ultra realistic photo. Great white shark, fierce open mouth. It's a lot of fun. So now we'll go back and check out our cats. Are they done cooking? This one looks like it's done. It's interesting, but not very gargoyle-y to me. More cats. It likes the blue for some reason. So that is what we've done so far with our Midjourney bot. New fun things happening every day. And now it's time for our great tea review. And I know tea is a very personal thing to a lot of people. And I'm in this conversation, we're not really talking about loose leaf tea. We are talking about tea that is already prepared for you. And my favorite is, starting with the shots, Ito En. This is an oolong shot. 5 fluid ounces, easy to carry in a little can, and you pop it. And you can do a little drinking of it. This is all part of the show, right? In my teacup. And you can see this is a darker tea, very smoky tea, packed with chickens, a little bit of caffeine, and really great taste. Donna says, Pepsi cheers. Oh. Donna. Now, this was delicious. And I am technically not allowed to have a second one. But I might get away with it if that person is not watching. So, this is the other shot we have, which is the Sencha shot. Green tea, antioxidant. They're both antioxidant. One's blue, one is green. You probably shouldn't have two the other. Gordon says, I wonder how it would work if you had a nice plant-based. The oolong, not the green tea, of course. Might have to check it out. This is the Sencha shot. A little bit lighter. Still incredibly delicious. And I'm not getting paid for this. I paid all my money for this. Not paid. Plant-based, not mace-based. That was strange, Gordon says. My second shot. Don't tell. Now, the problem is when I drink like this, I almost immediately have to go to the bathroom. But it's okay. I will soldier through it. Now, those are the shots. The best, and hard to find, usually. Ito En pre-brewed tea is this. The unsweetened, bold green tea. It's very dark. Now, most Ito En is very light, jasmine tea, matcha tea. This. Now, the great thing about this is, if you drink enough of it, I don't tell this one either because this is number 3. Big troubles brewing tonight, if I'm not careful. But this is all for science, so. Is you will lose a lot of weight if you drink this tea. And I say that from personal experience. And yes, it's very expensive to get this kind of pre-brewed tea delivered. If you go through Ito-En on their website, just ordering, 12 of these and maybe the bigger size, 6 of the bigger size, they're going to charge you $15 just for shipping. And if you're smart and you want to order 2 or 3 because you're ordering, they're going to charge you $80. It's a problem. Now, this looks very dark, but compared to this and compared to this is very lightweight and not very bitter. So I will be drinking this during the rest of the show. And then here's the really good one. This is the real secret. Everyone's favorite question, does Amazon have it? I'll show you in a moment. This is very heavy. This comes 6 to a box. This is the way to go. You drink a little bit at a time. See, because like with this version of it, and they're exactly the same tea, when I open this, I have to finish it. I can't take a sip or two and put it back in the refrigerator because, I don't know, OCD. This doesn't seem to kick it in. This, I can pour a little bit out, have a little bit, drink it, and put it back in the refrigerator. It's fine. So, be finishing this. We might even finish this. So, looks like you can pick up the box and get some strength training done. When we ordered that directly from Ito-En, we ordered a 12-pack of this and a 6-pack of the other one, and $15 for shipping. It's not terrible compared to what it could have been. And what's interesting is when you order from Amazon, the prices for their tea, this exact same tea, is exactly $10 more than it is on the Ito-En website. Because we know shipping. So here we go. Buy it again. We got the Sencha shots from Amazon. I could not find the shots, either of these shots, on the Ito-En website. I don't know if they're not making them anymore, but we've been drinking these for years. I can't imagine they get rid of it, but maybe the shipping is too much. But here are all the results. This is the one you want. It's very bold. Calories, I believe it's 5 calories per drink. This is the one that most people know, the Oiocha green tea. Very delicious. We've also loved the golden oolong tea, which is this. Not the golden one. Gordon says, subscribe and save for the win. Very true. And here is the Ito-En black milk tea that may have been what Gordon was talking about. We've never tried that. It looks good, though. We've ordered a lot over the years from Ito-En. We've made them very rich, and we've regretted none of it. It's absolutely the most delicious stuff you'll ever try. And they have a lot of it. You can see it just keeps going. This is their jasmine tea. I'm not big on their, they used to have lots of flowery tea, like white lily tea, and I think one was a peppermint and a wintergreen. This. And then they have their green tea powder. You can just add Sencha shot, their green jasmine tea in the big jug. And it just goes on and on and on and on. But here's their website. Experience the modern ritual. They believe in loose leaf tea too. All kinds of interesting things. Tea bags, brew your own tea. If you want something RTD, ready to drink, that's where you're going to get a lot of money for shipping. They're going to get a lot of money for shipping. And it's very expensive. But if I look here, the products, loose leaf, bottled teas, tea bags, teaware gifts, I don't see the shots. And I don't see any way to search their website. So it's all very heavy. So just be careful if you decide to go visit, because it's very irresistible. There you go. And this one is usually always out of stock. The 2-liter bottle of the bold green tea. It's very heavy and very dark. The others, not so much. Here's another one. Rose green tea. It's like drinking soap. What I realized during the break, I don't have to make a video of my publication of NFTs failing because we did it together on the show. All I have to do is go into Twitch or YouTube, make a highlight of that little section of the show. Hey! Send it to them. I'll probably have to upload it to Vimeo or something in case they can't see it because it's behind a paywall. But that will solve the problem. Unsweetened Hojika roasted green tea. I think we've tried that in the past. Very hard to find. Extremely delicious. I mean, it tastes like campfire tea, which sounds gross, but it's really not. It's very surprisingly delicious. Barley tea. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure if this is for an American audience or not. Oh, matcha and milk. Right there. On page 3. Now you're saying sencha shots, $52.50, outrageous. Well, you get 30 of them. They come in a big box, and 100% of the time, ordering from Amazon, Eat-O-N, any other place, 100% of the time, the box with the 30 shots always cracks open and spills everywhere. Now, usually they're smart enough to put the box in another box. But when you pick it up, you can hear them rolling around because they're very loud. They're made of metal. Matcha Love Energy Tea. Matcha Love, very nice. There's the oolong shot. The coffee shot, interesting. I wouldn't call this a bottled tea. I would call this a canned tea. I would make it a whole separate entry on my website, but I guess they only have like 3 or 4 of them. But I don't think they should hide it on page 3 of bottled tea. I don't think that's very smart business. It gets a little confusing to find it all. Oh boy, now we're going to have fun with Flight Radar. But you know what happened? I drank a lot of tea, and not to be too fundamental about it, but maybe we have to take a little break. So, Flight Radar. Coming up next, very delightful. I just discovered it yesterday, and I'm in love with this stupid thing. Returning in a moment. And we are back from break. I'm David Bowles. This is Bowles.tv. Gordon says, I love the next step screen. Yes, it's sort of important. When you take a lot of breaks, then you just have a blank screen. People have no idea what's going on, where you are, what's coming up. So this is something we try. It does look softer. Very nice. Jana Marie is coming to us now from YouTube. That's interesting. She might be a little behind. Because on the big TV, I went in there and flipped things around a little bit and put on YouTube. And it says streaming live. And you click on it on Apple TV. And it starts you at the beginning of the show, which is an hour and a half ago, which is weird for live TV. You'd think it would let you start watching. We're live. But maybe that's just how Apple TV works. I don't know. Weird things going on. So we finished our cats, right? Our gargoyle cats. So when you're done and you have, some kind of subscription, then you have access to your website. This is midjourney.com, and it connects to your Discord name account. And everything that you've put together is saved online separately from Discord. So you can see all your creations, how they look, if you like them or not. You can click on them and get information about resolution size and if you want to rate them. You can also just go up here and say, I only want to see the upscaled versions. So it will hide all the 4 and 2 image versions that you've tried to put together. It's very interesting. This is me playing with my chess pieces. This is the Midjourney version of a new sort of chess knight. Because I've discovered Midjourney, when you say a knight in chess, they think you mean a physical knight. They don't give you a horse. So maybe I should be saying chess horse. I don't know. But sometimes they put the knight on the horse, which is actually kind of interesting. But that may be a conversation for another day. So before I get into this next thing, I discovered this yesterday. Where'd it go? Flight Radar 24. Wow. Someone was talking about Apple Watch apps that have radar on them. And somebody said, oh yeah, I use Flight Radar 24. Live air traffic. And you're seeing a live view of Flight Radar 24, and it's on your iPhone, and it's also, as you can see, on the regular web. I was showing this to Jan Marie last night. And it's the most interesting thing. And I'm not really even an aviation guy. But it is interesting about aviation. There are 2 things that are indisputable and that you can't challenge or argue with. One is that if you are flying airplanes, you must speak English. International rule. All pilots speak English. When you speak to the aircraft, ground control, anybody on the radar, radio, it's all in English. Second is, as I understand it, that is the one job, pilot of an airplane, pilot on an airline, where you cannot have that job if you are deaf. Banned. Seems discriminatory, but I guess the only communication you have when you're in the air with the ground is through your headsets and a microphone. And if you can't hear, you can't communicate emergencies or feed information to the ground. The ground can't help you because you can't hear. And one of the interesting things about the version of Flight Radar 24 is you can get certain alerts on your watch. And two of them that I set up, which I thought would be interesting, are when a plane anywhere in the world has communication problems, meaning they cannot speak to ground control, they are able to, I guess, click a button, send some sort of alert that gets sent out everywhere, including my Apple Watch, saying we're out of communication, which then puts everyone on alert because they will eventually need to land. And the second thing that I get on my watch is when an airplane declares an emergency, which means when you're at an airport, everything stops, you make room, you get the fire engines out, you clear the runways because they may be having a problem. Much to my chagrin, last night, about every 15 minutes, I got an alert. This plane has no communications. I had no idea it happened that often. And it seemed to be mainly North America. And maybe that's how I have my filters set up. I don't know. And what was very interesting is it pops up on your watch and it gives you a picture of the plane, a history of the plane, and no communications. And then this morning, I was working out with Apple Fitness Plus in the middle of my Pilates session, and I got an alert that a plane was declaring an emergency. And it popped up on my watch, and I was exercising, but I clicked on it anyway. And it was the photograph of a military jet that looked American. Hey, there's Jana Marie saying, I'm YouTube. And it was a military jet, and I clicked on it, and it said follow, and I clicked on it again, and it didn't tell me exactly where it was or what had happened because I guess it was on my watch. And my phone wasn't nearby. So I have a feeling if I had been able to find it on my phone, I would have been able to track it a little bit better. Because one thing you can do with this is track a plane. I'll show you on my iPhone too, because it's a little bit of a different experience. So you find a plane, you click on a plane. So this is an American Airlines plane going from Burlington International Airport to Philadelphia. Janice Sweeney says, I'm watching, but it's healthy, so go for it. I think Jana Marie is a little bit behind. I think she's watching the T portion of this, and she's not watching the flight radar. It's okay. I should type to her. See if she gets it. So you can get all this. So this is a photograph of the airplane, and you can click on it, and it takes you to jet photos and gives you even more detail about all these different kinds of planes and who is flying them. This particular aircraft type, Mitsubishi, registration numbers, all. Oops, Jana Marie says. I don't know why YouTube is delayed. Not a good thing for new viewers. So you can obviously have weather filters. Other kinds of filters. Click on another airplane, LaGuardia to Knoxville. And here's where it gets very interesting. You can follow. And so you follow this plane as it goes. You can also get its... Oh, Jana Marie's caught up now. Yay, Jana Marie. So we're following this plane. No. Oh, what have I done? Oh, it's a lot of planes. Meow. Okay, so we'll find another plane. Here's a smaller one. Okay, this is not available. So these are small flights. Follow, right? Do we know the route? Maybe, maybe not. Now, what I like about the big jets... Okay. Okay, this is going to Teterboro. This is a fancy jet. Follow. This is where they're coming from. Very cool. And the route, very interesting. British Virgin Islands. Now, the real power of this app is actually not on the website. But on my iPhone. I'm going to show you. Now, okay, let me see. I have to take this down, this down. I'm going to go to my big screen. Yeah. So this is Flight Radar 24 on my iPhone 14 Pro Max. I think that's what it is. Okay. Works just like the web version does. However, this AR, artificial reality. So if I click on that button, it shows you using the camera. I wonder if I should hide the camera. It shows you all the flights that are flying around you, depending on in which way you are looking or which way your camera is looking. So if you have your camera on, you can see, okay, if you're in the direction of the guitars, you can see all these planes flying and where they are in the sky and how far away they are from you. And we live very close to the Newark airport, so we get a lot in and out. Augmented reality, Gordon says, is AR. Very good. Whatever it is. You can see there's a FedEx plane going. And then you can get the pictures to show if you want. And see, we live in a very tall, scary building. And when this was built, this was the highest building in Jersey City, 56 floors. The building 2 is now 72 floors. But when it was being built and established, we would get all kinds of airplanes that would come this close to our living room window. You could almost reach out and touch there. They don't do that anymore. And I know they were doing flybys so people could look at the building, because it's like Jersey City is flat like this, and then It's huge. It's a landmark. Janice says, you showed it to me last night. It's amazing. Yeah, it's very cool. But the best part is not just the augmented reality. Now, how do I get out of this? This is the problem. If I could see better. Oh, let's reopen. So I'm going to pick one of these airplanes. Okay. I picked an airplane to follow, right? It's hard to say. It doesn't really focus very well. Going from Ord to JFK. Okay. And then I click on 3D view. And that is the airplane right there. And that is the realistic ground and water. And we're flying the plane, flying along with the plane. And there was a plane last night that was a small plane, had a communications failure, flying from Fort Myers down to the bottom of Florida. And I sat there for 15 minutes, flew with them in their Piper aircraft until they landed at the airport. So this is tailing the plane. Then I can also click on the controls, and now this is the view of the pilot. Not quite as interesting to me as just the regular view. And those dots you see, those are the airports that are in the area. And they usually don't go to those airports. I find they do a lot of turning when you're flying. But this is just very peaceful, just to fly along. And then you land, and it's highly detailed. You're landing at LaGuardia Airport. It's amazing stuff. See if I can find one more. Find something Midwestern. Going out of Omaha. We could. Louisville, Tulsa, Kansas, Lincoln, and Omaha. This is an American airline. Well, I can't see it very well. Flying into Omaha, Nebraska. It gets terrible. Oh, maybe I should make it brighter. Maybe that's what it is. It's because I made it too dark. Yeah, maybe I made it too dark. Can't really see it very well. And we have a new camera coming. I should show that to you right now because that's going to be big. Oh, yeah. Elgato has a new camera. And I love the camera that we have, but they have a new camera. And it is this. It's called Facecam Pro. Oh, the world's first 4K 60 frames per second webcam. Now, most of the really smart, artistic, wealthy streamers use a DSLR camera as their webcam. And then you have to put in a fake battery. It's a big thing. Autofocus doesn't always work. But the quality of the image is very beautiful. And these guys spend $5,000, $6,000 on their cameras. We don't do that here. But something like Face Pro Cam comes out, and it's like around $300. And we use Face Cam, period. There was like half that. And it looks like the quality is going to be really increased. And when I restarted the computer today, I got an update from Elgato saying, we need to update your camera software because we have a new camera coming out. So it sounds very interesting. I don't know if it would make any difference, but it's always good to have a good camera around. We use their lights, we use their key lights, their mini lights, the lights in the background you see. Elgato is a very good company when it comes to being able to live stream. And I believe the company name is Corsair. So if you see Corsair headphones or microphones, that's the same. Our microphone is a Wave 3 microphone, our software for audio that gave us such terrible trouble. We first started Windows 11. Elgato got it right. They got us on the air. They got us working. And now, since we were talking about fun things with Flight Radar, just to close the show, I'm going to show you a little image of something that's very fun and dear to all of our hearts. Hey, it's Trader Joe. Location in every state. California has 187 Trader Joe. And people always want to get Trader Joe in their neighborhood. And Trader Joe is very specific about where they will and will not go. And in our zip code, it's an up-and-coming zip code, but the average household income for a zip code must be $100,000. Now, when you're in a big city where you have very poor people and very rich people living very close together, where a house for $1 million. Hey, Gordon says, hooray for Trader Joe's. They have an adorable new bag that folds into a tiny version of one of their more popular bags. I think I showed that yesterday. It's a little tiny bag. And Jana Marie says, I went to Trader Joe twice in Long Island City already today. I know. I can't wait. I'm already hungry. And it's only 2:00. So that's why Trader Joe is very successful, is because they don't go on a whim into an area hoping that they'll sell. They know that their customer has money, and they don't want to go into a mixed zip code, as they say, where you have rich people and poor people, because the poor people unbalance the rich people. And it's funny that these states where there is no Trader Joe, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Mississippi, West Virginia, no Trader Joe. New York has 32 Trader Joe's. New Jersey, 18. Nebraska, 2. So it is well known, but not as ubiquitous as Safeway, Whole Foods, other delivery services. Well, I just got a bing. Our streaming software says, hey, see how well you streamed in October. I'm doing a show, and you know it. So that is our show today. Had a lot of fun. Talked about a lot of things. If you have any questions or comments, you can email me, david@bowles.tv. On Twitter, so far, we are still there, @DavidBowles. Facebook, so far, still there, BOLES. Instagram, we've been banned. DLive, we've been banned. Falsely accused by everyone. Gordon says thanks. Thank you, Gordon. And if you'd like to come to our Discord server and have fun and play with AI, hang out, all the links from we put in our live links area, come on over and have fun. Gordon says I was trying for the thanks shortcut. Yeah, I don't think we have a whole new setup here where we stream to 7 different services at the same time. We have new chat software. So if you type !GG, I don't know if that will work or not, because we are very limited on the amount of point commands. Because they're all different. We've had to redo it all for this new setup. And then they get run on timers. So it's a very different thing. So I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful, delightful tea, which we did get caught by the tea police. And we're going to be paying for it later. Run. Gordon says, I'll be old-fashioned and write it all out. Thanks for having us. Thank you, Gordon. Had a lot of visitors today. We had Donna Pepsi and we had January Sweetheart. Dora, I believe, is on a train somewhere visiting. Maybe we'll see her again soon. So I hope you have a great day, wonderful meditation, good exercise, nice breaths, and when ye shall awaken, may your soul be filled with joy and your mouth be filled with the most delicious green tea ever possible. And the interesting thing about Edo En, I'll tell you right now, is it's very smooth. They have some kind of brewing process that is there's no bitterness, there's no aftertaste, there's no burned tea leaves. When you make your own tea, the tea leaves are probably old, they're in a bag, they're not very fresh. You don't have that problem when it's pre-brewed for you. So thank you. I will see you again soon.